Going live. I don't know when it's live. This thing always lies to you when it tells you you're live. So who knows what you're seeing? But also, no one even knows that I'm going live. So I am going to spend a second here sharing some stuff, such as this link once I get to it. The way YouTube does its live stream service app thing now is, I don't know. In a lot of ways, it's better than when it was Hangouts, but it's also kind of annoying. Um, and they've made it really hard to. I'm sorry, I don't know if there's anyone popping in the chat yet, but I will be looking in 1 second. Okay, let me do this. I just need to get the link. Just to get the links is like so much harder than it's supposed to be. Hey, there is people popping in there. 1 sec, you guys. 1 segundo. As I make a little post on Twitter about this birthday live stream. Actually, I don't know why I put that in air quotes because it is exactly a birthday live stream. Sweet. Okay. That's on the old Twitter. And let me see. There's people. Oh, and I can use that one now too. I feel like every time I use this, like I said, the new YouTube live stream default service they have, it's like it changes in some way. And so I'm always like adjusting to the new things. It's like you pop it open and it's like, here's this new thing, here's this new thing. And it gives you the little got it button. That's like, I don't got it. I just want your thing out of my face. Okay. All right. So there's definitely people here. What is happening? And I already got a super chat. Holy smokes. Mighty Brian gave me a super chat for my birthday. Happy birthday, man. Just had my 30th last week. Well, hey, happy 30th birthday. The dirty 30, as they say. I had a crazy 30th birthday exactly 1 decade ago. So happy late birthday to you, dude. 30 is definitely a big milestone as well. And I appreciate the donation. Oh my God. Avedon, dude, Avedon Smith, good buddy of mine, is the first person in. Thank you so much, man, for the happy birthday. I appreciate you, dude. James Orose, Feely, oh my gosh, Filey at Morid Joe. I'm so sorry I said that wrong. But thank you, Travis Anderson, Michael Reinhardt, Daisuke Danny, Ice Paladin, David, Guy. I love that name, Guy. Elias Grande, Manuel Arroyo, Isaac Joraz, Felix, Diego, M56, Eric, Dyson. I'm trying to just like get a bunch of names going here, but now I'm starting to get even questions and stuff. Happy birthday to you. And here is hoping you're having a fantastic day today. I am having a fantastic day so far. Thank you so much. So many happy birthday wishes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I mean, I guess I kind of expected it, but oh my God, Avedon gave me a $10 donation, bro. Happy birthday. Keep being great. Thank you, man. Thank you. That is so cool. That is a great birthday gift. I really appreciate that donation, man. And of course, Avedon, if you guys don't know, is a really, really good buddy of mine, really good YouTuber. He now has a channel, Beats for Breakfast, where he does an awesome podcast, which is, he does, I know, Avedon, you do like solo videos too, talking about different like creator content focused stuff. But also Beats for Breakfast, they just do like interviews with other YouTubers. Like I've been on it. Him and I went for about an hour and a half or so just talking gaming stuff, a lot of music stuff. I love that, Avedon, you focus on people who have a music background, which is why I know you first asked me on. So you guys absolutely need to check out Beats for Breakfast. Maybe I can get it and link it in the chat, and then I promise I'll get back to more questions from you guys. But I do want to, hook up my man who has a really great show. Beats for Breakfast. Where is it? Found it. Hey guys, check out Avedon's channel. It's really awesome. Anywho, oh my gosh, Banjo Bob, Riley Shields, Bernardo Quidute, Hernan Herrera, Tyler Hoos, all the happy birthdays. Thank you guys so much. I actually think that I saw a question. As much as I'm loving all the happy birthday stuff, I think I saw an actual question pop up there for a second. Mike Campus said, happy birthday. Hope there is some great Metroid news so you can have a great belated birthday gift. Now, and then Wi-Fi says, now play Paper Mario. I'm going to play Paper Mario, like I said. I know Paper Mario is this weird controversy, man. I discussed it on my video about it. Like, I get it. I get the controversy. But since I'm not like a diehard Paper Mario fan that only has experience with one of the games, I see what they show, and it's like, yeah, it's simpler than I would prefer for sure. And I see the issues with the battle system, but I still see like a pretty fun looking game. And I said this on my video. I personally am starved for Nintendo content in 2020, you guys, because I've had nothing to play. My fiance loves Animal Crossing, and that's great. I've seen her play it. It seems like a really cool game, but it's not for me. So I haven't played a new Nintendo game in probably almost a year, if you think about it. So, Paper Mario just comes along and it looks good enough for me to be like, okay, like I'm gonna play this new Nintendo game. But I understand that people are super down on that game, man. I totally get it. I think I'm seeing other different questions come in. Is plenty of happy birthdays. I know 40 years old. How the hell did I make it to 40, you guys? It's just wow. But they say age is just a number. And it sounds cheesy when I say this, but I just don't feel 40. I don't. So maybe that's part of what helps it feel like not a big deal, I guess. Today is my birthday too, says Anthony B. Dude, happy birthday. Happy fellow birthday, man. July 16th. Quite a day to be born. And it's funny too. I'll tell you this, Anthony, if your birthday is really today, one of my best friends and my current bandmate, Corey, his name is Corey. His birthday is also today. So when I joined the band and I auditioned, and when I kind of became part of the band, it was this crazy like realization we had when both him and I were like, "Wait, your birthday is July 16th. My birthday is July 16th." And we're also both big Metallica fans. It's our favorite band for both of us. So it's like there's this weird correlation. Anyway, Anthony, happy birthday to you. I hope you are having a really, really great birthday. Hi, Kieran. Hi, Armar. Steven Sullivan says, do you have a girlfriend? Well, yes, I have a fiance. I'm engaged. So I do actually. Armar says, question, can you see the speed boot of Metroid in 3D? How? Oh, man, I don't understand your question. You should try asking it again, though, because I definitely want to answer the question, but I don't understand. Can you see the speed boot of the speed boost? And maybe is that what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, buddy. Yeah, you should try asking that one more time. Mamaya Malvada says, dude, do you have any videos of your band on YouTube? No, not of my current band. The only thing I have is I have some private videos of some stuff that I've put together that is like clips I took of myself performing a show, probably like a year and a half or 2 years ago. And oh my God, Daniel Hamden Hoje, I don't know if I said your name right, just gave a massive donation. I guess I'm not sure what currency it is. It says 45 DKK, and I admit I don't know what that is, but that is amazing. Thank you so much for making a donation. I wish I knew what that currency was, but I don't care if it comes out to 10 cents US. That's really cool. Thank you. Do you sometimes get recognized on the street from people who watch your channel? And happy birthday. I've gotten recognized like in a GameStop, and I was recognized in when I went to when the Switch was launching. I went to a Nintendo Switch event. Nintendo invited me, and I got to bring another fellow YouTuber, my buddy, also named Robert, to the show or to the what would you call it? The little event where it's like, hey, play the Switch, 3 months before it launches. And there was a couple people who I heard talking behind us in line, stating that they recognized me from Rule of Two Review. And that was interesting because the channel was way smaller at the time. I don't know if anyone said that they recognized Robert. I think that Robert was just under 1,000 subscribers at the time. So tough call, but that's something that happened for sure. So I thought that was pretty neat. But that was at like a video game focused event. So if people were going to recognize myself or recognized my friend Robert, I mean, they would, of course, they would have been like, oh, these are like YouTubers who talk about Nintendo. So, oh my God, you guys, donations are coming in like crazy. Riley Shields, thank you so much. Vampire Rockstar, who I see you comment on my videos a lot. Thank you so much too. Happy birthday, Rob. Check out Displot if you want high quality posters. Displate, I guess. Okay. If they have Star Wars posters, like movie posters and stuff, I would for sure be into it. For sure. Okay. Now I have to really focus in on questions. Mighty Ryan says, when when the next gen Switch will the next gen Switch have blast processing? Maybe. I don't know if that's next gen tech anymore. Blast processing. Um, Josiah Torres says there's concept art of Samus doing a shine spark in Metroid Prime 1. Ah, I've never actually seen that. How interesting would that be? Felix says people are kind of complaining. Let me full screen this to make my life easier. Um, People are kind of complaining they don't want just a port of the Rumor Mario 3D collection. I understand. I also want them to be HD. Just the Zelda Twilight Princess HD looks great. Thought. Okay, so you're talking about whether or not they should be straight ports of these old Mario games, or if they should be like HD remasters or whatever. I mean, obviously, like we all would prefer any game to come out that's a port to be like HD, to be remastered, to have new graphics and hopefully like new content, like new game content. And this Mario thing, it's just the craziest rumor because it came out a couple of months ago and it really never got disproven, even though we haven't heard anything from it yet. It just felt real. It seems like a lot of people in the know and a lot of things that I've heard are from people who would be in the know who tend to believe it. That much I could say. And we just don't know any like details about it. And now, of course, it's picking up more traction because of the Nintendo Direct rumors for next week potentially. And like part of the rumors say it's just a full Direct. Other parts of the rumors say it might be the Mario focused Direct that was rumored to be for E3 that would announce these Mario games for the Switch. And so the question is, are they going to be remasters? Are they going to be straight ports? Are they going to come in a collection or individual purchases? If you watch my videos, you guys have heard me talk about that so many times. I, of course, would prefer HD remasters, like remaster these games, Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy. Like they're all great, but they're all old, especially 64. And so if they were to update the character models and make them HD and maybe even like add cool new textures and lighting, like you make a comparison to Twilight Princess, which is a great example, that would be amazing. It's probably a lot of work. And if they're doing it for multiple games at once, I mean, tough to say if they'd be willing to do that. If they came out as just straight ports and maybe for, $15, you could go buy Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine on the eShop. I mean, that'd be fine. It'd be okay, especially if they're cheap, but obviously it would be a lot less exciting. And I think they would sell less too. I think they'd sell a lot more if they made physical copies and physical collections of remastered classic Mario games, especially Galaxy. Man, imagine Galaxy. Just think of how good it looked in standard definition on the Wii. Imagine that game updated in high definition, maybe with new lighting and stuff. Wow, that just makes me so excited. So, anyway, tough to say. Tough to say. You got 72 viewers in here for a birthday stream. Very cool, you guys. I super appreciate it. And I only barely hinted that I was going to do this on Twitter. And I don't know, the way I do these, holy smokes, Ryan Steffen, bro, $50. Buy a game on me. Happy birthday, man. Holy crap. Wow. Thank you, Ryan. That is amazing. That is amazing. I've had several donations so far, and I don't get many donations when I do live streams. I think partly because I don't do live streams very often, but that is crazy. I'll tell you what, Ryan, real talk, man. I want you to know your donation will definitely go to good use because I'm literally buying 2 video games tomorrow, right? Paper Mario and Ghost of Tsushima come out tomorrow. So you've effectively just bought one of those for me, and that is really awesome. As all of you who are donating are really kind of, I guess, going towards those 2 game purchases. So that is just, wow. I could not appreciate it more. Thank you. Thank you. Now I don't remember what gaming topic I was talking about before that. Wow, stopped me dead in my tracks. Again, more happy birthdays coming in. Thank you to everybody who says that. Saif Hamadi says happy birthday. Thank you. Subject change says 40. Jesus, you look great for 40. Happy birthday. Thank you. I hear that a lot. I guess I must have good genetics, and so I appreciate how often I've heard how good I look for 40. I do appreciate that. So I'll tell you what, man, exercising, eating right. You don't even have to eat like perfectly well. You don't have to just shove like green lettuce in your mouth and make that the only food, but just eating fairly healthy and balancing it out properly and avoid a lot of dairy, which no one wants to hear, but dairy is really bad for you, unfortunately. That stuff helps, man. Um, Also, I'm not very stressed, and I think stress ages people, and it's just the worst. It's so unfortunate how that happens, and I think I've just been pretty lucky. But I had to work to get here, man, because I definitely had some stressful periods in my life, and maybe didn't have a lot of money and wasn't doing well, and I had to really fight and claw my way back into like a comfortable, happy situation, just mentally and financially, living situation, relationship wise. Like I was pretty low for a while and probably my like late 20s and early 30s. But if you persevere and you stay strong, you can figure out, you can bounce back from a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm not here to give you guys life advice. I'm not the person to actually give life advice because I have messed up many times in my life. But oh my gosh, another donation from Zildjian65, a fellow drummer, I'm assuming. Um, Happy birthday, bro. Use this towards your pre-order of Cyberpunk 2077, which I will be buying. Or any other CD red game of your choice. Definitely Cyberpunk. Has to be a CD red game. Witcher 3 is often $13 on Steam. Happy birthday, bro. Thank you so much. Well, don't worry. I'm getting Cyberpunk, so that money will definitely go towards that. I appreciate the birthday gift. You guys are awesome, man. Okay, let me catch up to some more questions here. Tamale Muncher says, Happy birthday. You look younger than you are. Thank you. What is your favorite non-Nintendo franchise? Says Riley Shields. That is a great question. And my answer would be it's probably Resident Evil. Right up there is Silent Hill. I mean, Silent Hill is so close, but there's been a lot of really bad Silent Hill games too. And the series is dead as far as we know. Also, I know it's going to be controversial right now. Okay. But technically, this game is now a series because the second game came out. And The Last of Us has to be in the conversation for me just because the first game to me is so good. Last of Us 2, I just talked about it on my Q&A a couple days ago. Uh I really like Last of Us 2. It's borderline a great game to me, but it's got some issues. There are flaws with the pacing and the design and the flow of the game. I don't have the big problems a lot of other people have with like, the character and all that stuff. I like that character even though I hate some things about that person. I also like them in other ways, but I do think that we spend way too much time, and the kind of second to last boss fight you do with that character I hated so much that I actually thought I outright hated the whole game. It was so bad to me. Horrible choice with that. However, they bring it back at the end and they finish really strong. And so it's whereas the first game to me is a 10 out of 10, I think Last of Us 2 is like an 8 out of 10. So a very good game. And so it's like, do I want to call that? It's a series now. And the first game is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. So does it become a favorite non-Nintendo series? Tough to say because I think the second one was so less good compared to the first. So I don't know. And there are issues with Last of Us 2. So I go back and forth on that. Anyway, oh my God, Mr. Pete and Sabbath. I'm getting multiple donations, you guys. This is crazy. Mr. Pete says, Happy birthday. Are you spending the 40th yelling at the neighbor kids to stay off your lawn? I'll make sure to do that this evening when our new next door neighbors have their grandkids jump in the pool that they have. Because that's when I hear a bunch of kids. And I'll be like, get out of here, you little rapscallions. Sabbath says, you need a Streamlabs, yo. What non-Nintendo games are you excited for besides Cyberpunk? Well, Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk. What else? What else is coming out? Oh, Watch Dogs Legion. I'm very excited for that. What else do we know about? What other games? What am I brain farting big games that I can't think of? Well, no more. Okay, well, No More Heroes 3 is a Switch game, but it's not a Nintendo game. So really, that's the number one. Excuse me, is No More Heroes 3 for sure. And then also Cyberpunk. Resident Evil 8. Oh, I'm so excited for Resident Evil 8, you guys. That's going to be amazing. Yeah, what were the games that we were just shown? Like Horizon 2 is going to be cool. Miles Morales Spider-Man is going to be awesome. Yeah, I have to start playing over games that we saw like in the Xbox show and in the PlayStation 5 reveal. But I think those are the biggest ones for me. So Kieran says, "How do you feel about Spider-Man Miles Morales? Do you think that it will be a huge launch game for PS5?" I do. I think that what they're doing with Spider-Man is probably going to be like a smaller tier version of what happened with Breath of the Wild. Not because like Spider-Man is small tier. Obviously, Spider-Man is a huge property, a huge character. The PS4 Spider-Man game is amazing and is like it's sold so crazy well. And everyone's been asking for a Miles Morales game, especially because he was featured in that game. So I think there's going to be a lot of hype behind it. And obviously, it's going to be like, sort of a cross gen thing where it's like PS4 and PS5 version of this game. But I do think that, with Breath of the Wild, there was a different level of hype and excitement, and there was a several year buildup, and there was so much mystery behind it. And even though it was like a dual launch on Wii U and Switch, they really focused on it being a Switch launch game. And so I think that was just slightly higher tier. But I do think Miles Morales is going to be a great game. And I do think it's going to be huge on the PS5. It'll be interesting. It'll probably still sell more on PS4, though, just because of install base. And if people are struggling to get PS5s right away, which they will be, then a lot of people will be like, I can't find a PS5. I'll get one next year. And for now, I'll just pick up Miles Morales on my PS4. I think a lot of people will do that too. So. Oh, wow. Here's more. Okay. So Daniel again says KR is Danish money. Oh, I don't know what KR stands for. From Denmark. Okay. 89 KR is around $13 to $14 US, I guess. That is amazing. Well, thank you again. I mean, you definitely didn't have to wait a second time to just inform me, but I sure do appreciate that. Wow. Thank you so much for that. And that's good to know. I wonder what KR stands for. What does KR stand for? I'm going to look it up just so I know what it's called. Currency. Oh, it's a kronar. Kronar? I'm probably saying that wrong. Sorry. The currency is code for kronor. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm learning something about money. Scott Phantasm says Halo Infinite. Riley says, what about the Avengers game? I mean, I'm excited for it. I know I'm nervous about it too. A lot of people are nervous about the Avengers thing. Um, I mean, here's the thing. I'm nervous about like the game plan for that game, like, the games as a service, the fact that it's not just like an adventure game the way Spider-Man was or the way Marvel Ultimate Alliance is, which is awesome. Like they're doing the games as a service thing where it's kind of like a Destiny or an Anthem, but they're using the Avengers. And it's like I don't really love that. But I will say people have been really kind of poo-pooing on the gameplay that they've shown for it. And I kind of disagree with that. I actually think the gameplay looks fun. It might not be fun once I actually play it, but just based on like the video we've seen, like the previews they've done, I think it looks cool. I don't know. People are just really down on it. I think it looks fine, personally. 1 o'clock in the afternoon coffee, the best time. Yellow Kazoo, what is up, Yellow Kazoo? Oh man, another fellow YouTuber. Whoa, 40 years old. Catching up to me, Rob. I'm on my way. How you can't possibly be over 40, Yellow Kazoo. There is no way. There's no way that you're over 40. I'm so curious. Mighty Ryan says Star Wars Squadrons. I'm excited for Star Wars Squadrons. I'm really excited. I think that, I complained on Twitter how, wow, you're 47, Yellow Kazoo? Are you messing with me? I feel like you're messing. There's no way. There is no effing way. Yeah, I've been 47 since I was born. There's no way. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you're 47. Unless you double down, I will believe you. Yeah, so anyway, I joked about Star Wars Squadrons when it was revealed because I hated that they just gave us like, oh, here is the new game. And it was like a 2-minute CG trailer. And, I'm with everybody here. Like, I hate the CG trailers, man. Like, there are some games that could be exceptions. So, for example, The Last of Us 2 CG trailers that we got for the 2 years or so, like those were fine just because I already know what Last of Us is. And it's a game where I accept the story and the cutscenes in a specific way to that game. But with those rare exceptions, with like a Star Wars Squadrons that's about like being in ships and fighting and shooting, it's like, yeah, I don't need CG for that. I literally just want to see the fighting and the shooting and the flying. And so I hated that CG trailer. But once they broke the game down, it looks great. I'm a Star Wars sucker, man. It's a rough time we live in to be a Star Wars fan. I'm not really a fan of this Disney era. You know, there's some good, but I'm overall not a fan, and I miss George, so I struggle with that part. But in general, I'm still a sucker for Star Wars stuff. I think Squadrons looks really great. You know, as long as we learn there's not a lot of microtransactions, then I'm going to be okay with it. Um, Riley says, okay, so I have to ask. I see you're a huge Star Wars fan. Did you like the sequel trilogy? Personally, I think Rogue One is hands down the best Star Wars movie since Empire. Oh, I mean, funny you asked that question. So, no, I don't like what I call the Disney trilogy. I won't refer to it as a sequel trilogy because those movies to me are not sequels in any way, shape, or form. They're just movies that take place after the first 6 movies, but they're not sequels just because they take place afterwards to me. The story had potential to be sequels, but the story is in no way, shape, or form continuing or concluding the story and the events of the first 6 movies. So I call it the Disney trilogy. And it's tricky because I like Force Awakens and I like Last Jedi. I do not like Rise of Skywalker. But even though I like 2 of the 3 movies, I still think the whole trilogy is just not good. And the Rise of Skywalker was the worst ending ever. Like, and I'm not in the business of disliking Star Wars, you guys. I am very forgiving when it comes to Star Wars. And I was on board through Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I had my issues with those movies. I had a lot of issues with those movies, but I still very much liked them. And I was like, I'm still into the story and the characters. So let's see where this goes. And then Rise of Skywalker just fell apart. And so that's me. I like Rogue One quite a bit. You bring up Rogue One, but it's not my favorite. And because it's a spinoff, I also don't care as much about that movie. I kind of just don't care. But I will admit it is a good movie and I like the movie. So I like the movie, I like the story. I just didn't like the characters and I don't really care about the spinoffs and stuff. So man, oh man, here comes more. Jackomac gave me, dude, $5, my good buddy Jason. What's up, man? I have good news for you, Jason. I'm gonna text you after this live stream. You probably know what it's about, but I have good news for you. So, and then Falcon Black MGTOW. What is up, man? Gives me 5. Is that pounds? Is that lira? I should know my currency and I don't, and I'm so sorry. But he says, "Happy birthday, bro!" As a fellow Cancerian, I relate with you. We come from a deeper place. I'm the 19th of July. Love from London, UK. Yeah, so I think that's pounds or euros. Dude, thank you so much, man. Happy early birthday. Your birthday would be what, Sunday then? I think this coming Sunday. So yes, being a Cancer is pretty awesome. We are very passionate folks, right? I'm like, I don't know. We're just like built on passion. So I'm sure you probably see the same thing. Novus Talk says, tried asking on the previous 2 Q&A, what do you think the identity of Silex is? There's a lot of evidence to say he's Samus's brother. She had, where'd it go? She had a brother in one of the manga that's no longer canon. Yeah, I know the manga you're talking about. Yeah, there's been all sorts of conversation when it comes to Silex and Samus and Metroid Prime 4. And this whole thing about Silex being Samus's brother, I don't really buy it. It's never really felt real to me. And I know I guess there's kind of a hint or something at it in the manga series, but there's nothing. That was like before Silex. And there's no reference to that character. I feel like from everything I've seen, and I'll admit, even as a Metroid, huge fan, and I guess I could call myself an expert. I don't have the deepest knowledge of the Silex brother theory because, as far as what I've seen and researched over the years, as that theory started to get out there, it seems like it's mostly just a fan-made thing. There's very little evidence to show that there's anything to that I've seen. And so to me, I just don't put much stock in it. It doesn't mean it's not true, and it doesn't mean that Nintendo won't necessarily go that way when it comes to Prime 4 or a future game. I guess Prime 4 makes sense because of the Silex tease at the end of Metroid Prime 3. But I don't know. I just I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I just don't feel any way about it. So I just don't really kind of care what they do. I almost feel like it would be forced at this point. I like the idea of Silex just being, one of the many bounty hunters that he is. Because Silex, he came from Metroid Prime Hunters, which was just a game about multiplayer. And so, because they made a game about multiplayer in the Metroid universe, they just created a bunch of different like Metroid universe seeming bounty hunters that all just kind of like look cool. And Silux was just the one who took off. People got to know him. He was the one who, I guess, kind of became the poster child for all of those other bounty hunters that everyone else has forgotten about. No one ever talks about all those other bounty hunters. There was like 6 or 8 of them or something. And they were all pretty cool and unique. Silux took off, and then his ship was featured at the end of Prime 3. So clearly Nintendo had a plan for that character. And now people are like, he's Samus's brother. And I'm like, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. Dropkick Nation says, happy birthday, you old fart. Thanks. I am an old fart now. Oh, man. Jason says, happy birthday. I was going to say something about this good news, but I look forward to it so we can movie it up. And we definitely will do that. Yeah, got it. So he was basically shoehorned in as her brother was a fan favorite. Says Yellow Kazoo. I mean, kind of. Yeah, I mean, there are tiny breadcrumbs that do kind of point to Silux being her brother, but to me, nothing significant. So I don't know. I just have never really paid too much attention to the theory personally. Let me go up here and see, because I've missed a lot of questions. How do you feel about a Luigi's Mansion 4? Would you want it to be open world? I would like a Luigi's Mansion 4 for sure. I love Luigi's Mansion. I think they're all great. I still have a soft spot for the original one on the GameCube just because at the time that came out, it was so exciting and so fun and so unique. I had a really good time playing that. I had just turned 21. That's how long ago that was. Or I guess I guess I would have just turned 22. Right? Because it would have been, because the GameCube was 2002, right? Or was it 2001? Now I'm forgetting. Maybe it was 2000. So yeah, I would have just turned 21. It was 2001. What am I talking about? I don't know about open world Luigi's Mansion. That seems, I guess that could work, but they make everything open world nowadays. So how would you do a Luigi's Mansion open world game? I almost feel like the way Luigi's Mansion 3 worked with the hotel and all the different floors almost was open world. If you were to call the world of that game the hotel, it was open world, kind of. So I don't know. Tough call. Because if you think about it, the premise of Luigi's Mansion is that you have to be in a mansion, right? So how do you make a mansion open world? That's hard. That's really, really hard. You don't look 40 years old. Thank you, Oliver. Oliver Branting says, I don't look 40. I am 40 as of today. I am 13 and a half hours into being 40 years old, which is crazy. Somebody proposed the theory that Eldon Malkovich. Oh, I think you meant to say Adam Malkovich from Other M is Silux. It was a YouTuber called the Metroid Trainer. I've seen that YouTube channel out there. I've never watched any of that stuff. Could Adam Malkovich be Silux? I don't know. I mean, technically, no. Okay, here's the thing. I don't really know when Prime Hunters is supposed to take place, but because it's a Prime game, I would assume that means that it would be between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2 during the era of the Prime games, because the Prime trilogy does take place between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2, the Game Boy game Metroid 2. And if Prime Hunters, I assume Hunters and Federation Force and Pinball all take place in that same time because they're called Prime. I'd have to double check. I don't know on the spin-off games. I only know the mainline games. But so if that's true, then Adam Malkovich, I mean, Samus knew Adam Malkovich before she became the Samus on her own in the first Metroid game. But at the same time, she gets to know Adam Malkovich again. She's reunited with Adam Malkovich in Other M, which is way, way, way after the Prime trilogy takes place. And spoiler alert, Adam Malkovich's death when he sacrifices himself at the end of Other M, all of that stuff. And Metroid Fusion, where she kind of remembers Adam Malkovich, all that stuff. That's like way after the Prime games. And so if Prime Hunters, where Silux is a character, and Prime 3, where we see Silux at the end of that game, takes place between Metroid 1 and 2, Basically, this is a long way to say I just don't see how that could possibly be true. Maybe I should watch that video and maybe that video can convince me otherwise, but it doesn't seem to add up to me unless he's just pretending to be Silux and then he stops being Silux. And then several years later, he's Adam Malkovich again and sees Samus on the bottle ship another M. So I don't know. Interesting, but I don't know if I can buy that one, man. Everyone's got these theories about Silux, and I just feel like Silux might just be just another bounty hunter that doesn't like Samus. So we'll see. We will see. Oh my gosh, more super chats, you guys. Sabbath says, when do you think Mario Odyssey 2 is coming or a new 2D Mario? Well, that's a good question because I do feel like a new 2D Mario will probably happen on the Switch. They gave us New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is a port. They gave us Super Mario Maker 2, which is like, it's a new Mario game, but it's like also a game where you make the game, so it's tricky, but they've done that. I think a new 2D Mario game is not crazy on the Switch, maybe even a new Super Mario Brothers game that's unique to the Switch. As far as Odyssey 2, I mean, I definitely think there's a good chance that they're making it, and maybe that becomes a good end of life game. Maybe a Mario Odyssey 2 could make sense. Like, let's pretend 2022 is when the Switch 2 comes out. Let's say November 2022, the end of the year, is the Switch 2. Maybe early in that year, they would release a Mario Odyssey 2 to be like, one of the last ditch, like Hail Marys, the swan song title for the Switch. I could see that happening with Odyssey 2. Vampire Rockstar says, Display does have Star Wars posters as well as video games and anime. Awesome, man. I'm gonna just pull up Display right here so I have it saved. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Display. Okay, there it is. Oh, it says you can make your own too. Metal posters. Okay. Thanks, dude. I've got it saved here, so I will check it out once the stream is done. Oh my gosh, more happy birthdays. Thank you, Matthias. Thank you, everybody. What's up, Sorry Yuha? Yo, Rob, happy birthday. Love these pop-up live streams. Nice. Yeah, I just do live streams just like out of nowhere. I'm not a pro when it comes to live streams. Scheduling them on YouTube is a pain in the butt for me for some reason. I mentally am not connected to the whole live stream thing, you guys. I don't even follow live streamers and that whole culture with live streaming gamers. I'm so out of touch, man. This whole like thing with Dr. Disrespect is like a big story going on right now. And I've followed it through a couple of people who I like sort of talking about it. But I'm like so just like out of touch and I don't really find it interesting. I don't even know how to use live stream to play games and stuff. I've never really figured that out. I do want to. One day I will. I keep saying one day I will, but it's not really something I'm into. So I downloaded OBS or Streamlabs or whatever on my laptop like last year. And I tried setting it up with YouTube and it was just such a disaster. There's something about my brain. I don't consider myself a stupid person, I'll say, but man, my brain just doesn't like connect with all this live streaming stuff. It's like, I mean, you had to get a live stream key and I had to Google that was even something I needed to do. So and I did it but it wasn't working. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I kind of the only reason I can do these is because YouTube makes it simple. It's like, just do the go live thing on YouTube and they do the work for you. So that's really easy to me. The rest of it, it's just really tricky. So Yolo Kazoo says, I can help. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the offer. I've had other people offer. I know I could do it. If I had somebody who knows what they're doing, help me get it going, I know I could do it, but I'm also not that invested in doing it. I don't really love the idea of playing video games live, like the way people they play every game live. They're just live streaming because they're into that part of it and it helps them make money and all that stuff. And I get that. But for me, I think I haven't gotten into that because that's not how I like to play my video games. Like to me, when I sit down to play video games, which, despite being really, really busy, I managed to find a lot of game time in my life and I'm lucky. I also don't have kids, which makes that easy. But when I do that, I'm like, cool. I'm escaping. I'm alone in my element. I've got no one or nothing around me or bothering me. I can listen to my YouTube videos. I can play the game that I want to play and just be invested. And I'm just like relaxing. So the idea of The Last of Us 2 comes out, or Ghost of Tsushima comes out, or Paper Mario, or No More Heroes 3, games that I'm so excited for. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to get on stream and play them and invite the internet and, all of you guys, just a bunch of other people into the room with me as I play and experience a game like The Last of Us or No More Heroes or whatever. I mean, I can't think of anything less appealing to my video game time. I guess you could say I could get a lot of followers and I could make a lot of money by doing that way. And I get it. And I think that that's great for people who like that. But I would rather not get the followers and not get the money to enjoy my video game the best way for me. Now, when you're doing something like a Fortnite or a Call of Duty or a Mario Kart, obviously that's different. So the online stuff, I understand a lot more than the single player story based games, like a Zelda, a Last of Us, a Metroid, those kinds of things. I'm like shocked that people want to experience those games that way because I feel like you're probably missing a lot about the experience because you're so distracted by other things and you're talking to people. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling about this. The point is that's just why it's never worked for me. That's not how I like to game. So I've never gotten into live streaming gameplay. But, I think it would be cool to play like Smash Brothers and Call of Duty and Mario Kart, and maybe even, go back and play Metroid Prime, like games that I know and I've beaten so many times. That could probably be fun, but I saw people playing like Death Stranding when it came out, like playing Death Stranding on live stream. I'm like, I can't envision a game like that live with just, so many people in a chat that you're talking to them on chat and you're just so not in the zone, the headspace that a game like that is asking you to be in to enjoy it. So anyway, I'm literally rambling. I am so sorry, guys. So sorry. I also have gotten more super chats. This is crazy, you guys. Sabbath says, I want a Wario platformer really bad. I feel like it's time for one, and it could take some cool chances on the Switch. Yeah, what was the last Wario platform? Was it Wario Land on the GameCube, right? Because then it's just been WarioWare games. I think that'd be cool. I like Wario. I think a good Wario, the Way Forward thing, everyone thought that Way Forward game was either a Metroid game or a Wario game. And it would have been cool if they made a Wario game for sure. I would like to see Wario come back, I guess. Any Nintendo platformer to me is a good game. So they just don't mess that up, in my opinion. And I'd like a Wario game. Wario. I'd be okay with that. And yeah, they could take some cool chances. I agree. And then Knucklehead, that's a great name. I assume you're from Canada, says, is 29 too old to become an electrician? That's a great question. And here's what I'll tell you about that. No, it's not too late, not too old, because when I became an electrician, I was 28. So I was only a year younger than you are now. And I was an electrician, that was my job and my career for 4.5 years or so. And so I would say, yeah, if you're 29, 30 years old, it's not too late. Just know that you're going to be the gopher, the green guy, as we called them. And, you'll be an apprentice for a while. And so you'll be doing some of the simpler stuff. But yeah, you could totally do it at that age, man. Absolutely. Jason says, I haven't done it yet, but I'm eventually going to be attempting my art on stream as I posted on Facebook. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, you should totally do that. Chris Smith says, can't tell because I know a Chris Smith. I don't think that's my friend Chris. Dog, I'm streaming Dark Souls for my first one. Nice. Dark Souls. I guess those are good games to stream because the rage quits. People love to see rage quits, man, and all the dying. Novus Talk says, have you seen the comments Tanabe made today about Prime 4 being for casual players? I saw a blurb about it, but I think the nature of it, and I mean, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't really remember what I saw. It didn't seem like a big deal. He said like, but I thought he said something like, we're not focusing on making it for casual players. I should probably look it up. Josh Skillman. Josh, where are you? So are you the Chris I know? Now I'm just talking to my buddies, you guys. What the heck, Josh? So these are some of my really good friends popping in here from back home. Do another Wario impression? Oh. I'm going to give you a personal Wario impression a little bit later, dude. But that's so crazy. My buddies Josh and Chris are in the stream. That's very cool. Thanks for popping in, guys. I'll give you guys a personal Wario impression video. I'm going to text right to you because I like you just that much. I love you, Ra. I love you, Chris. I am an old fart. I know. Thanks, man. I am ancient. This is it. This is it for me. This is the end for me, my master. Is that how that works? That's not how that works. Fantastic Mr. Volts says, would you rather have Skyward Sword HD or Star Fox Zero for Switch? That's a good question because I don't really know what I would answer. I think I would say Skyward Sword. One, because it's a better game. Like, I like Star Fox Zero. You guys know I really like Star Fox Zero. But Skyward Sword is a great game to me. And I think that it's a shame that it's trapped on the Wii. Like, that game deserves another life. Just like Ocarina of Time got remade, Majora's Mask got remade, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword deserves the same treatment. And I think that the Switch is the best opportunity to do it because if there's ever going to be a controller Nintendo makes again that can do the motion stuff, it's probably the Joy-Cons. Star Fox would be cool, though, just because I do want more people to experience that game and see why it's actually really good. I kind of think, they're both hard to translate because of the motion, but I actually think Star Fox is the harder one to do because beyond the motion, it's the second screen that game needs to really work. And so, the motion thing with Skyward Sword is a difficult proposition. But beyond that, Star Fox Zero with the gamepad is even harder. So, like, I don't know. I really, really want that to happen, but I just don't know if they could do it. So, wow, you guys are crazy with all of these donations. Thank you so much. Sabbath again. Dude, you're donating so much money. Thank you. For what it's worth, Sabbath, I'm willing to let you off the hook, and you can ask questions without donating, and I will answer. You don't have to pay every time to get them answered now. But I says, what do you think is the most important thing they need to approve again in the Prime series and in Prime 4? Well, there's a couple of things, but one of the main ones I go to, and I talked about this in that podcast I did with Super Metal Dave and Joey Ferris, is I do think that improving the combat and improving the need to engage in combat is very, very high on my list of things that they could improve for Prime 4. Like the combat and the simplicity of it and how it worked in Prime 1, 2, and 3 was good and fine, and it was fun and it was great. But coming into Prime 4, it'll be like 15 years between Prime 3 and Prime 4. And a lot has changed in the gaming industry and the standards and expectations, especially for first-person games and for Metroid. It's freaking crazy. And so in the first Prime games, I talked about this on the podcast, like when you're engaging in combat in Prime 1, 2, and 3, you're only really doing it just to get enemies out of your way. You're not really getting anything out of it. There's not much incentive to do it. And that can be fine. If your combat's fun, sometimes it's fun just to fight and to win those battles. But nowadays, I think that a lot of games have found a good way to incorporate elements that do give you more incentive to fight, whether it's experience points or materials that you get that you can spend on things like Super Metal Dave brought up, all sorts of things. And so I would like the combat to be fast-paced and a little bit more engaging. And I would like for there to be more of a reason to engage in those battles beyond just like, oh, I need to get from this door to that door, and like these 3 space pirates are in my way. Let me just get them killed. Like, I like to know that we're getting something more out of the combat. So that's kind of my thought. OG85 donates $2 and says, should I play Beyond Two Souls in original or remakes? Honestly, that's a game I haven't played. I really wanted to play it, but I never got to. So I don't really know what to say on that. I say do the one that makes the most sense to you. I definitely wanted to play it. I just never got to it. So Juan Cruz Ortero says, what if Nintendo gives us the Mario collection? We call it a year. Would it be enough? I don't think so. Okay. You're saying if Nintendo shows us these rumored Mario games, do we say, okay, Nintendo's given us the games we need for 2020? Or do we think that we need more than that? Well, it's different for everybody. I'm at the point where the way 2020 has gone and the way Nintendo has treated 2020, if they gave us these Mario games and that was all we got for the rest of the year from Nintendo specifically, I would be okay with it. I'm not that demanding to the point where it's like I just need games. I'm willing to say, hey, Nintendo, this year is weird. So if you give us these Mario games, it's not ideal, but I'm still very excited for them, so it's okay. But I know a lot of other people would not feel this way. Like you say the same thing. You say you wouldn't feel like it's enough to get those Mario games. So everybody's kind of just, their own person and has their own opinions when it comes to this stuff. So everyone has to kind of determine what they feel. I'm willing to say Nintendo, you have to just do what you have to do. And it does seem like Nintendo is willing to take the year off, man. I've been saying it for a long time, and people were laughing at my theories about Nintendo giving up on 2020 or Nintendo paving the way, opening up the floodgates for Sony and Microsoft to be able to launch their consoles without any impedance from Nintendo. And people were like, that's silly, that's crazy. But they were just theories I was putting out at the time. And now it seems like there might be something true to this. There might be something to it. So we'll see what happens if we even get these darned Mario games anyway. Kieran Buckley says, how do you feel about Suda51 teasing No More Heroes gameplay so late into the year? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with No More Heroes, man. I mean, I want that game so bad. I was nervous at the beginning of the year that the game might be delayed. And now here we are halfway through the year, pandemic or not, we're halfway through the year and we've gotten these little teases, but we haven't seen the game and we don't have a release date. There's only 6 months to go. So what really is the plan with that game? Is it really 2020 or not? It's probably delayed. And so I really wish that Suda would just tell us, hey, we're delaying this game. Like, just tell us. I can't imagine they're going to launch it this year. So I don't know. Whoa. I'm missing stuff. Oh my gosh. So many more super chats. You guys are insane. This is so crazy. I did not expect this just because it was a birthday stream, but I think that's why so many of you guys are donating. So thank you again. You're probably sick of hearing me say thank you. Cradley, I like that name, donates $5 and said, have you ever had the opportunity to play the Japanese version of Metroid Prime? Whoa, I have not. There are a few cool differences, such as a fully narrated opening. Really? Really? I had no idea about that. Even as a Metroid guy, Metroid expert, again, quote unquote expert, I did not know that there was a narrated opening to Metroid Prime. I'll wait. I'm going to look that up after the stream. I'm really curious. Thanks for letting me know. I really want to see what that is. Sabbath again says, I like the 666. Thanks, man. $6.66. I think we need more backstory to the universe. Do you mean Metroid? Yeah. Well, that's why I kind of I've talked about the story that I wanted in Prime 4 and how I want to explore the origin of the Chozo, for example. If they went down that route, that would kind of be the backstory, right? That would be the backstory to Samus, to the Chozo, just to what sets up the original game and the original adventure she goes on. So I do think that would be very cool. You could argue that Other M attempted to give us that backstory, right? Because it's definitely a lot of Samus's backstory from before she really engaged in her, kind of solo missions as Samus in her power suit. But obviously that's not really the backstory we wanted. And it was still Samus as an adult, So maybe you're asking for something farther back from that. And now Joshua donates $20, says, thanks for being you. That is amazing. Thank you. $20. That is a lot of money. I really appreciate it. Signim donates 10. And again, I do not know what currency that is, but I'll call it $10 local. Awesome. Thank you for the donation. Says, have you seen Derek Bittner from Game Explain's Metroid movie project on YouTube? He's made a prologue months ago, how a Metroid movie could work, and he's making the next big chapter. Worth checking out. Interesting. I knew that stuff existed, and I saw the old one they released a couple of years ago, I think is the one you're talking about, which is very cool. I haven't seen the most recent one, but I do think that a Metroid movie is possible. It's risky. Any video game movie is risky, right? We all know why it's risky. To me, the only ones that have worked were the first Resident Evil movie. I actually like the sequels, but they're not good video game movies. I do think the first one is a good video game movie. I think Silent Hill is the best video game movie. And I think that Mortal Kombat, the first movie, was awesome, right? So those are the three rare examples So you talk about making a Metroid movie, and it's risky, but I think it's possible. I think with the right casting and the right vision behind it, it could work. And many of you guys may or may not remember in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s or early 2000s, they were going to do a Metroid movie, and it was going to be directed by John Woo, who was an action movie director like in the 2000s. He made some Van Damme movies, and he made Mission Impossible 2, and he was going to do a Metroid movie. So that was very exciting at the time, but it obviously fell apart. So I'm trying to answer regular questions to you guys, but honestly, I'm getting so many super chats that it's hard for me to I have to answer those. Oh, and then Chris says, happy birthday. I love and miss you. Love, Chris. Thanks, buddy. I love you too. I miss your face. I miss everybody. We are planning a trip back home next year, just so you know. I was actually texting that to Josh earlier today. So we were going to go back this year, but the pandemic happened and traveling was not happening or not safe. So if it's safe next year, we are coming back home for a week. And so I demand to see you guys then, man. I want to see your new place. I know you guys got a new place too, a new apartment. So that would be super cool. Thank you, man. Sabbath again donates 777. I've never played the No More Heroes games. What is so fun and special about them and the gameplay? Honestly, to me, the secret sauce to No More Heroes, and I think most fans would agree with this, is honestly just Travis Touchdown. The secret sauce is Travis. He's really fascinating, really fun, really funny. The voice actor, of course, is amazing, does such a good job. And when the first one came out, it was also the novelty of the Wii, okay? So we have to remember, first one was 2007. The Wii was only a year old, and it was this mature, bloody game with this guy who's swearing, using like a lightsaber kind of weapon and killing people. And it was very violent, and it was exclusive to the Wii, and it focused on motion controls. And so the first game took off because it was filling such a niche kind of genre on the Nintendo Wii specifically. Like, it's definitely specific to the Nintendo Wii. And so when that game came out, we were just excited to be like, whoa, this dude is like swearing and slicing people in two with a lightsaber on a Nintendo Wii game. That's badass. And so that's why the first one became so popular. They're not like, how do I say this? The mechanics of the No More Heroes games aren't the best, and they're glitchy, but they're just good because they're fun, they're interesting, they're bloody Nintendo games, and you just don't see many of those. And so I would say that that's what you're going to get. If you go into No More Heroes or you go into No More Heroes 3, you're going to get a big on Travis being an interesting character and really over-the-top anime boss fights. That's just really what the games are about, but they're really, really awesome for that. So yeah, thank you for the donate. Oh my God, Sean, dude, RGT. Sean also donated $20. That is amazing. He says, happy B-Day, homie. Thank you so much, man. Happy birthday to me. And you also just had a happy birthday. So happy birthday to you, which I wished you that on Twitter. So wow, thank you so much for the donation, dude. That really means a lot. I appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Yep, everyone's stoked that Sean is here now. That is really, really cool. You are the man. I appreciate that. My name is Dave, says, happy birthday. Thanks for all the content, and especially the Metroid goodness. You are welcome. That's what I'm here for. Jason says, I believe they're making Borderlands movie. Oh, they are making a Borderlands movie. Yes, they are. I never got into that too much, but should be interesting. Fart Baby says, B-Day Bonanza. I love that name for $5. Thank you so much. Sign him again says, CHF are Swiss francs. Okay, gotcha. Swiss francs. Derek's Metroid movie project blew me away. Illustrations, voice acting, a must watch. Would love to have your opinion on it. Next video is being backed by the fans. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Swiss francs. Johnny Mentology says, I took a glance. I could even swear you were just turning 20. Can you take the cap off for a sec so we can see the Keanu Reeves anomaly? I posted a video of me without my hat on Twitter. Trust me, I do not have the hair that I want, which means I don't have a whole lot of hair. So you can see a picture of me without my hat on Twitter. This is where that would be. Mr. Pete says, there was an F-Zero Japan account found on Twitter. I don't know about the Twitter things, you guys. So, okay. like Fable and what was the other one? There were two Microsoft ones that somebody had like secured these Twitter account names and then they made them private. And like Xbox even thought that they owned them. And then it turned out that that wasn't the case. It was just a regular person who secured those names. And now there's one happening with the Mario 35th anniversary where it's like at Super Mario 35th or something. And it's locked. And everyone's like, oh my God, Nintendo secured this Twitter account. And I'm like, I don't think that's what that is. And now there's apparently an F-Zero one for Japan. Perfect Dark and Fable. That's right. Thanks, Sean. Perfect Dark was the other one. And now there's the one for you think it's legit? Okay, so now Sean is telling me the Mario one is legit. It's tied to Nintendo.co. Is it now? Well, shoot howdy. I almost want to look that up, actually. So here's the thing. If that turns out to be true, Sean feels like it might be true. And if it is, that might change the game. Because when I hear the F-Zero thing, the immediate thing I think of is there's no way that that's real. Because I thought the Mario thing looked very suspicious. But now, maybe the Mario thing is real. It just seems like a weird way for Nintendo to go about it. Because it's all the A's are like the name. You know, it's like, Mario 35th anniversary. So who knows? But hey, okay, so here's the thing. Let's say the Mario thing is real, okay? If the Mario 35th thing is something Nintendo really is doing, and if these companies are doing this, they're securing Twitter names legitimately and making them other strange names, then it's like, does that mean the F-Zero one could be real? Maybe. I don't really know. Yeah, Yellow Kazoo says, that's what it is. Sean says F-Zero. I don't know about that, but the Mario one seems legit, registered back in March. Well, I mean, gosh, dude, when was that Mario anniversary rumor started? I think that was around March or April, probably, when that rumor got out there. And everyone still seems to believe it. And next week, there's rumors about the Mario stuff. So now who knows? Who even freaking knows, man? Yeah, Yellow Kazoo says, I thought it looked pretty suspect too. It does look suspect. And I just don't trust anything on the internet anymore, man. People, dude, go back to the Grinch leaks. The Grinch leaks, that was like a seminal moment in like leak and rumor culture. And I did not believe those. And I got roasted in my video when I said that. And I wasn't even like a dick about it. It's not like I was telling people, you're so dumb. I was just like, hey, this doesn't make sense to me. It feels fake. Here's why. And I got roasted and it turned out to be fake. So, and people really believed that. And then, of course, the NX controller, that looked so real, people believed it. And so sometimes the most convincing stuff turns out to be fake. Remember when that kid, he was literally a kid. He made that video before Nintendo's online service of what was apparently a leak of the online's update for the Switch, right? And he's going through like Wi-Fi menus and Wi-Fi profiles and all this stuff. And he showed folders for games. And it looked real. It sounded real. And it was fake. It was fake. So, I mean, I don't know. I definitely tend, to believe whatever Sean, seems to think that there's a good chance it could be real because of the email. And that's something I didn't know. So I'll admit I was not aware of the email part. So maybe it is real. But I just want to put out there, man, that people can fake anything nowadays. They can fake anything. It's impressive. It's annoying to me, but it's also impressive. That NX control, dude, the NX controller broke me, you guys, because when that thing came out as fake, the guy's like, I 3D printed it, and he had a video of him doing it. Everyone was just impressed, and I was like, this is so dumb. What a waste of time. It's a waste of skill, because the guy obviously was very skilled, but and I'm like, it's also a waste of time. Like, why is that even interesting to do? So that really, really got to me, man. That changed. Fart Baby says my girlfriend is constantly faking, but that sounds like a personal problem, bro. So anyway, I know I'm ranting about fake stuff. Hey, I hope the Mario thing is real. I for sure do. I tend to obviously to trust Sean. I know that Sean, you know what you're talking about. So nothing's confirmed. And I also know Sean is not confirming it either. So let's not anyone go crazy. But I don't know. It'll be curious to see what happens there. You think No More Heroes 3 will come out in October? Says Dag Juma. A couple of months ago, I might have believed October. In fact, early in the year, when I did the Nintendo Direct Predictions podcast with Spawn Wave and some people there, I predicted No More Heroes 3 would be August. And I think August would have been a perfect time. But again, now we're in July and Nintendo is just not showing us stuff. And Suda is only giving us Suda seems scared to show us like what the game actually looks like running. He's not willing to just drop a trailer and a release date. And so that just to me means that the game is just not ready. So it's definitely not coming out in August. October, maybe, because that's not super far away. Or it's not super close. But is it far away enough for them to, premiere it, give us previews, give us gameplay, and give us the date? I don't know. I just don't know when it comes to October. But I would like it for sure. Tom says, yo, Rob, good morning from Australia. Hey, good morning. It's like the afternoon here. It's 2 o'clock where I am. The Rayman for Smash leak. Yeah, that was really dumb too. Oh man, this takes me back to the fake trailer that someone created back when the Wii was about to hit. What was it called? Nintendo On. I don't remember anything about that. A fake Wii trailer? Nintendo On? I never heard of that. Mr. Karate says, you look very young for being 40. Thanks. I appreciate that. I age backwards. I'm like Benjamin Button. Robert Button is my name. Hey, the master. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, Juan in a Million says the Rayman leak got me sad and mad. I agree. I really agree. It's late here in Switzerland. Going to sleep now. Happy birthday. All right. Well, thanks so much, Sinem. I appreciate your couple donations. That's very, very cool. Get some sleep. Definitely important to sleep. Nova says, I wrote a Metroid story on Wattpad? I never heard of that. Recently, that's a reimagining of Zero Mission based on my ideas for a movie. Any chance I can get you to check it out? It's called Metroid Samus Begins. Yeah, if you can send it like tweet it out on Twitter, I can find it that way. That's the easiest way. Hey, Rob, what's your favorite superhero movie? Says Riley. Well, my favorite superhero movie is, if we're just going like comic movie, it's probably Logan. I know like Logan, it's not so much like he's a superhero, but he is. He's an X-Man. He's a comic book character. So Logan and The Dark Knight and the original Avengers movies are like my top, and Man of Steel. People crap on Man of Steel, but they're wrong. I think that movie's amazing. So those are really like my top tier superhero movies, comic book movies. Also X-Men Days of Future Past. So Logan, Dark Knight, Avengers, Man of Steel, Days of Future Past. Those are probably my top 5 comic films of all time. Yes, no, that is mine too. Which one is yours? Logan? You talking about Logan? Yeah, I don't know what Wattpad is either, Yellow Kazoo. I'm not sure what that is. Here in Italy, it's almost night, says Umpamau. That's crazy. Juan says, you, sir, are a scholar and a gentleman for choosing Logan. Dude, I love Logan. Here's the thing. I love the X-Men movies. I love the Fox X-Men universe. I know people crap on it now because the MCU came out and was so successful that I think people retroactively have decided, oh, the Fox movies were bad and they were always bad, which is so not true and not fair to those movies. And honestly, the Fox X-Men universe is the reason we have the MCU. It is the reason that comic book movies are like their own genre now. It took a while to get there, but the seeds had to be planted. And more so than like the Tim Burton Batman, which is amazing, the 2000 X-Men movie and that whole series is literally the reason we have what we have today. And I think that X-Men, X-Men 2, Days of Future Past, First Class, Logan are all great, great, great X-Men movies, you know, and they're better than most of the MCU movies. And I love the MCU. So I just don't like that people started looking back on the X-Men movies like they're bad just because of the MCU. It's just I don't know. It's just a backwards thinking that doesn't really work for me. So Riley says, Rob, you're officially my new favorite YouTuber. Well, hey, thanks so much. Who knew that X-Men movies were what was going to do that? Yeah, you say, yes, Logan, Days of Future Past, and Dark Knight are my 3 favorite movies. They're all amazing. They're amazing movies. Have you read the Old Man Logan comic series? I haven't read it, but I do know it, and I know a lot of the story beats. So, you know, they borrowed a lot of that for Logan. I thought was really cool. What are your thoughts on Nintendo retro renaissance for their end of year bang? Pikmin 3 Mario Collection, says Smooth Operator. I think it's possible. I mean, obviously, in a slow year where Nintendo doesn't seem to want to give us a lot of new games, obviously ports make sense. You know, it's less exciting, but they make sense to fill out your year. We got Tokyo Mirage Sessions this year. We have rumors of like 4 Mario games and rumors of Pikmin 3. I mean, those aren't really retro games, but I see what you're saying, and yeah, maybe that's the plan. Oh, Joey, what's up, buddy? Joey says I was watching Days of Future Past yesterday, and it's unreal how good that movie is. Happy birthday! Thank you, dude. And it is unreal. Days of Future Past, and it was a big hit. That's the thing, is Days of Future Past is a movie that made a ton of money and that people loved. But it weirdly, in the couple of years since it came out, kind of got dropped from the conversation, and I don't really know why. Logan is in the conversation. People still remember and talk about Logan, as they should, because it's a perfect movie. But Days of Future Past is right up there, and it's like people kind of just forget about it. And but everyone loved it, so I don't really understand why people just decided to like have a mental block with that movie. Alejandro says, "What do you think Nintendo's next console will be like?" Man, predicting Nintendo hardware? Are you kidding me? There's nothing harder in this world. Obviously, it could be just a more improved version of the Switch. It's another hybrid console. I am somebody who's not willing to write off the possibility that Nintendo goes back to a traditional home console. I know people don't think it's possible. Hey, Retro Death, what's up, man? Also says happy birthday. Thanks for showing up, man. X-Men 2 is still one of the best superhero movies, and I totally agree. The Pyro Saga is gold. Yes, dude, what they did with Pyro, you know, you are a god among ants. Never let anyone tell you any different. It's amazing. X-Men 2 is also a perfect movie. I agree. Top 5, top 10 comic book movie of all time. Anyway, yeah, predicting the next Nintendo console is impossible. I think they might be willing at some point to go back to a traditional console, but we'll have to see. Julio Godoy says, you have contributed to my hype with Metroid. Oh, sweet. I never played a Metroid game before and decided Metroid Prime 4 would be my first until I got Nintendo Switch Online. Oh, does that mean you're now playing maybe Metroid and Super Metroid? Either way, that's very cool. Dude, I'm so glad I could help convince you to play Metroid. That's like almost the best compliment I feel like I personally could receive is somebody who's like, hey, you convinced me to play any game, but specifically Metroid. I never played Metroid until you convinced me to play it. Or I never played Metroid and you've convinced me to make Prime 4 my first Metroid game. Like, that's the best compliment you could give a YouTuber. And for me, it's the best compliment. So that's really cool. Yeah, Joey says it must have been that Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix ruined X-Men in the fans' eyes, but that shouldn't excuse the greatness that is Days of Future Past. Yeah, I agree. I think Apocalypse isn't that bad. And I know that's like a blasphemous statement. People hate X-Men Apocalypse. I think it was okay. I actually think it was slightly better than okay. I think Apocalypse is good. In the truest, most sincere definition of the word good and nothing more, Apocalypse to me is good. It's the goodest you can make a movie, right? Should have been better. Absolutely. But I don't think it's bad. I enjoy it for the most part. Dark Phoenix to me is a movie I think is just barely okay. I don't think it's bad, like people say, but it definitely failed in a lot of ways. But there was also weird circumstances around it, the Disney thing, the Captain Marvel thing. That movie, I think, honestly got screwed in production. And to me, just like with Solo, a Star Wars story, I'm just marveled at how good it turned out at the end of the day. So I think Dark Phoenix is okay, but it's not great, and it should have been a lot better, for sure. Apocalypse is better than Last Stand, says Smooth Operator. I totally agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Apocalypse is like, I don't know, I'd give Apocalypse like a 7 out of 10, you know, I guess 7.5 maybe. And again, I would call Logan, Days of Future Past, and X-Men 2 10 out of 10. Maybe X-Men 2 would be like 9.5, something like that. But I would give Apocalypse a 7. I mean, God, it's not that bad. There's a lot of good stuff in that movie. I think here's the thing. Falcon says Apocalypse is great. So that's awesome. You think it's great. For me, I think that the people's biggest issue with Apocalypse is a worthy complaint, and it's how they handled Apocalypse. So obviously, if your movie is Apocalypse, Apocalypse is a legendary comic book villain. And if you don't handle that properly, obviously it's going to hurt the movie. Like, it has to hurt the movie. And I agree. But I will say, like, the version of Apocalypse in that movie, I think Oscar Isaac killed it. He did a great job in that role. And I think that for the rules of that movie, Apocalypse was cool. When you compare that version of Apocalypse to the original Apocalypse, that's where it's bad. So it's like, you know, compared to source material, very bad. On its own, in a vacuum, in its own movie with its own rules, Apocalypse was actually pretty good as a character, if that makes sense. That's, I think, why I didn't let that ruin the movie to me. I mean, the movie's a little sloppy near the end, but I still think a lot of it came together pretty well. So anyway, like I said, I'd give Apocalypse I'd give it like a 7. So it's fine. Have I watched Batman vs Superman? Of course. Of course. I think that was okay too. Not as good as it should have been, but I'd give it like a 7 too. You know, Batman vs Superman was okay. Who do I think should play Wolverine after Hugh Jackman? I'll tell you who I think that should be, Dennis, and it should be a no-name, a newcomer. Just like when Hugh Jackman was cast as Wolverine in the late 90s. Because I remember the whole hubbub about, like, who's this guy? He's Australian. He's too tall. He's nobody. He's never been in a movie. He's only known for stage plays and singing and dancing. That's not Wolverine. And he turned out to be, in my opinion, the best and most important casting in a comic book movie of all time. Even over Robert Downey Jr., I think it's Hugh Jackman. And he was a nobody. So I think the best thing that they could do for Wolverine, Michael Cera, the best thing they could do for a new Wolverine is just cast someone we've never heard of. I know that, like, there's a strong desire to cast like this big famous star that gets everyone excited. And I get that. And if they do that, I'll still be excited. But I think a no-name is a better choice because we can really pretend that person is Wolverine because we don't know them from another movie. You know, if you cast like a Tom Cruise or, I don't know, a Benedict Cumberbatch. Well, okay, you can't do Benedict Cumberbatch because he's in the MCU. You know, like someone like a Tom Cruise level or a Keanu Reeves, you know, those kinds of big stars. It's like, well, that's just Tom Cruise. That's a guy from Mission Impossible and Top Gun, but he's also Wolverine. So, okay, like, we can do it, but it's not the same as somebody we've never seen before. So that's my pick, is a no-name. Giovanni says, I agree with you. It feels more genuine. Yeah. Michael Fassbender is amazing as Magneto, and I totally agree. Video Game Pizza says, happy birthday, Rob. I wish you all the best of hell. Wait, I wish you the best in hell. You deserve it. Thanks so much. Greetings from a pizza fan. Hey, who is not a pizza fan? I don't want to meet the person that isn't a pizza fan. Andre Zem says, happy birthday, Rob. Love your channel. If you could pick a Nintendo franchise and change its genre to create a spinoff, what would you pick? I'd want epic JRPG spinoff of Smash. Oh, man. What's my ideal Nintendo spinoff? I want to avoid Metroid. Where's my water? Ugh. So hot behind these lights. I'm probably going to wrap this up because honestly, it's really hot behind my lights here. What Nintendo game would I want to be a spinoff? Pineapple on Pizza for President, says Retro Death. I guess, honestly, it's weird because if you think about it, there's been a lot of Nintendo spinoffs. I have no idea. I guess making a game like an RTS would be kind of cool, like Fire Emblem or Mario and Rabbids. So maybe like Metroid, like an RTS would be kind of cool. I guess that'd be neat. Or like Metroid as an action game, but it's kind of already an action game. I don't know. Oh, and then, you know, Pokemon Warriors. I guess like the Warriors games would be kind of cool. So Retro Death says Metroid cross Diablo. Yeah, like honestly, Retro Clocked It suggested that to me in one of my Q&As. That could be cool. A Metroid Diablo kind of game. I think any game like a Diablo, you know, like a Zelda Diablo would be cool. Although, is that too much like regular Zelda anyway? Maybe it's like top-down Zelda. Tough to say. Anywho, I think I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap this up. This has been a phenomenal birthday stream, you guys. Thank you so much. So many birthday wishes from you guys. So many donations. Like, wow, way more than I could have possibly ever predicted. That is crazy. You guys are amazing for that. Not at all necessary, but boy, does it feel good. And it's very helpful. like I said, basically the donations have paid for my Ghost of Tsushima and my Paper Mario purchase. So that's really cool. But it is my birthday. I have a couple of things to get to. My fiance will be home in about 2 hours. I'm going to get some gaming in. I have one errand to run. And then when she's home, we're going to, watch some stuff and she's going to cook some food. And this weekend, we wanted to have people over. Like we have this new house in this huge new backyard. My fiance bought some games for us to play in the backyard, like beanbag toss and stuff. But like there's a pandemic coming on and we have friends who had potential what's the word I'm looking for? Potentially exposed. So we're waiting on their test results. And so we're like, it's just not a good time to have a lot of people over. So what we're going to do instead of doing that today is this weekend, we might have 2 or 3 friends over and just stay outside and just hang out outside and have beers and stuff. So pandemic sucks, man. Turning 40 during a pandemic. I can't even have a bunch of my friends over like we planned. It sucks, man. So her and I are going to hang out and just do some stuff. And she's going to cook a birthday meal. Oh my God. Diego, right at the end here. Diego gives me 10 euros. I think those are euros. It says, watch your channel for some years now through our passion for Metroid. I think we'll get a Metroid this year. Do you like Deadly Premonition? I'm playing part 2 right now and I love it. Well, 10 euros is like $400. You're almost not wrong. Okay, well, I'm going to answer this question. You cheated. You kept me on the stream a little bit longer because I do want to answer your question since you donated. Do I think we're going to get a Metroid this year? I kind of still do. Here's the thing. I think, I hate to say the word no, I got to be careful, but new Metroid's coming from Nintendo. I just believe that. I really do believe it's going to happen. This year is still tough to say, but I do think there's a good chance. Maybe they're moving it to next year. Who knows? But I think that there's a good chance we could see a new Metroid this year or next year. I'll say that. Deadly Premonition, I want to play part 2 so badly. My fiance and I were going to play through it. But once I saw that it's got like a frame rate of 10 frames per second, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait until they patch it. So once it's patched, I'm going to pick up Deadly Premonition 2. You say you're playing it and you're loving it. So that's really good to hear. Maybe they've already patched it. I don't really know what the status is, but I'm going to have to look into that. But I very much do want to play it because we love scary games and stuff like that. So it looks like a lot of fun. I'm not getting my hopes up for that or any Zelda this year. Yeah, I hear you, Joey. So anyway, okay, that was the last trap I'm falling into. I do need to get off stream. Thank you guys again so much. So many birthday wishes. You guys are amazing. Thank you for donations. Thank you for showing up for this stream. And maybe I'll do another one this weekend. I do kind of miss doing this. So it's the first stream in my new house, actually. So I will say again, thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.